Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle. Sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, gets back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
The San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boys, Mike, and we are here to bring you guys another fun-filled episode of Nothing But Niners, man. It is officially overreaction time. Make some noise. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. The San Francisco 49ers go out there and they rout. They absolutely trounce those Chicago Bears, man. And listen, we got to talk about it a little bit. Before we get to this before we get to the actual, victory shots, I want to go over some formalities really quick, and then I'm going to get my thoughts from my guys, and then we will throw back some victory shots. So first and foremost, if it's your first time here on the YouTube page, see the notification going across the bottom of the screen. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. I can't promise you that we will be on a tight schedule, but we will bring you guys content consistently. Just make sure you have those notifications on so you know when to catch it. Even on the replay, it is just as good. I promise you, all right? Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Snapchat and Twitter. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. Again, that is the number 9, Nothing But 9 ERS. And then we also have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. That is spelled all the way out. I am your host with the most. My name is Mike Andrews 83, and that is on X. I keep saying Twitter, my bad. To my right or left, it depends on, I guess, which way you're looking and pointing. But his name is NY to the Bay. He is also known as Cool Mike. And then the guy beneath the both of us, his name is Woke Mike, because he's never asleep, despite what he looks like. Mike looks like he's sleeping all the time. I can never, if Mike were to fall asleep on camera, I would not be able to tell. But it's cool. He is definitely the Woke Mike of the group. Fellas, how are y'all doing? And I need some thoughts on this game. Let's start with Woke Mike, then we'll go to NY to the Bay, and then we're going to go ahead and do some victory shots, man.
I mean, we saw some good things. We won, which is always a good, positive thing. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it, I guess.
All right. NY, man, what are your thoughts, man? The 49ers defeat the Bears 38 to what, 10? 13? 38 to 13. This is probably our best win in a long time. How are you feeling about it?
I honestly think it's probably one of the better wins of the season. But, I mean, that's what we should be doing against teams like the Chicago Bears, right? That's what we should be expecting, even though we're expecting a close game because our defense is kind of suspect. Other things are suspect. But, you know, even when the Bears made a little bit of a comeback, right, they had a little bit of momentum, the Niners came back and scored again. So it feels good to win again. Feels good to be on here for victory shots for once, to have a somewhat chill night on X. You know, they have a couple days at least until Thursday. We can't even get a full week to enjoy the win. But, you know, it's cool. Hopefully we can beat the Rams on Thursday and have a little bit of momentum going here. It feels great, though.
They're saying volume is low for somebody, and I'm not sure who exactly they're talking about. Mike, it looks like they were saying that when you were talking. I've got your mic settings turned all the way up, but I'm not sure what microphone you're using. Oh, they said, oh, there he is. I don't know. I didn't change anything. I heard you the whole time, but, I mean, if the people can't hear you, he basically said it was a good win. Yeah, he said it was a good win, short week. I I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe I shouldn't be honest yet. They said it's hard to hear. What about me? Can you guys hear me? You guys got us? They said it's hard to hear still. I don't understand. They said volume is low. Hard to hear. But then Dan said, oh, there he is. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They said mic is loud. All right, well, that narrows it down. Volume low, NY mic. There we go. Yeah. It's all good. All right, so this is what we're going to do, guys. The 49ers defeat the Bears 38-13. They dominate this game basically from start to finish, and that's not quite like an understatement, right? I mean, other than that second half opening drive in the second half for the Bears, they really didn't get much momentum going. And even with that momentum stealing drive that they felt like they were having, they went for two and didn't get it, right? So it wasn't as glorious as you would make it seem. The Bears finished the game averaging just 3.1 yards a play. The Niners did more than double that at 7.4 yards a play, and that's including a bunch of just trying to get the hell out of there plays, right? Third down efficiency for the Niners was at 50%, 6 of 12, best it's been in a long time. But again, that was, following some, let's just get the hell out of here. 49ers, I always included, sorry, Kyle Shanahan just interrupted me. He's so rude. I always include the fourth down efficiency. The Niners were 2 for 2, so that would make the Niners 8 of 14 on blank and goal plays today. And the Niners look better in the red zone. I charted the Niners at 3 of 4 in the red zone. My numbers could be off. It could have been 4 or 5 if I'm being honest. But the Niners seem to be really, really efficient in the red zone. And the time of possession damn near evened out. The Bears in the second half had a lot of time-consuming drives, but they finished with 28 minutes to the 49ers 31. Penalties, though. Penalties reared their ugly heads again. The Niners had 7 penalties for 31 yards. And just think about this, guys. Up until like right before halftime, I think that kick was the very first penalty of the game on either side, and we still managed to get 7 penalties for 31 yards. So I don't quite understand what exactly is happening with the Niners. We seem to just always be in trouble when it comes to penalties, but we punted the ball twice. That lets you know about the efficiency of the offense. We only allowed 1 sack. Meanwhile, the 49ers sacked those damn Bears, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, 5, or 6, but 7 times. Huh? If you told me that the 49ers were going to sack the Bears 7 times, I'd have been like,
excuse me, bitch.
Are you kidding me? But I will definitely take it, man. I will definitely take it. So it's a good day to be a Niner fan, or is it? Before we hear from Kyle Shanahan, the link is in the chat, guys. We want you all to come in here, join. I'm going to post it one more time for these victory shots. I'm going to start popping everybody in here. We're going to change the background. We're going to take the banners off. It is officially victory shot time. So, guys, get your drinks ready. Get them poured up if you don't have them yet. I'm going to pop everybody in here. We're going to do it together. And hopefully I get to hear from my man Dan. It's been so long since we've heard a poem from our guy Dan that I don't even know if he remembers he's supposed to be doing that over here. So we'll see if Dan joins. All right, we got my man Terradome. Oh, wait, I got to change the let me change the background. My bad. My apologies. My bad. There we go. We got Terradome in here. We got my man Ben in here. We got Darren in here. And there he is, the man with the plan or the man with the poem. I don't know what word rhymes with poem.
Know him.
What word?
Throw him.
That's not a word. What word rhymes with poem? Oh, man.
Look at that. I stumped everybody. Everybody's got some homework to do now. All right, guys, listen.
That's how you rhyme, though, man. You know.
Technically, comb.
Comb does not rhyme with poem. Stop it. Does it? Are we
It's
accepting
close
that?
Enough.
You
All
can
right,
blow him.
maybe. Oh,
It's
did you
close
say
enough.
blow him?
Oh, yeah,
Did somebody just say? Did somebody just say blow him?
I said bow, Mike. Only your impetus mind
Oh,
goes to the deepest levels of stud.
I thought you said blow him and poem
Raise your
all
roof.
rhymed.
Your roof. Bow them. Like throw them bows. Remember bows speakers.
Bow 'em. So you're combining two
Oh, shoot.
words,
I forgot
though.
my water. Hold on. I forgot.
All right, yeah, come on. Don't tell us it's water. It's bad luck to cheers with. It's all right. The Niners just won the game. They shouldn't have won, so it's fine. Oh, I let the cat out the bag. I'm telling you, got some of my intimate thoughts over here.
Intimacy.
Dun, dun, dun.
I got that. Where is it? There it is. All right, guys, let's hold them up. Point them towards your cameras. If it's your first time here, you've never seen us do this. This is what we do after victories. We haven't had a chance to do this in a long time, but here we go. Through the lips and past the gums. Watch out, tummy. Here it comes. Ooh. Wee. All right. We are going to highlight some people. We're going to let my guys speak, and then we're going to get them out of here because it is a long day. Where the hell did NY just go? I literally told him he was going to go first. Hold on, Ben. Actually, you know what? It's fine. Ben.
Cheers. Salute.
He's still doing it. Let's go, Ben. You're up, baby. Go ahead, Ben.
What up, guys? Let's go. Woo!
You guys are missing peanut. You got to get on that side.
Should I grab a
Canadian Club? Let's go.
All right, so Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mike.
All right, the floor is yours, man. Give me your thoughts on the game. Tell me how you feeling after a win, man. Long time for a victory shot.
We crushed it. We crushed it. I'm glad we won. Glad we got the
hold that.
And yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go for the next game, and let's keep it up. And even though we're in the hunt, let's go to the playoffs and let's go all the way.
All right, so I got a question for you. That you actually answered that question right there. I wanted to know if you wanted to make the Niners, if you wanted to see the Niners make the postseason. We're going to need some help along the way. Both the Rams and the Seahawks won. But let me ask you this question. If one of those teams had to win the division, not the 49ers, which one would you want it to be and why?
The Rams, because I hate the Seahawks.
My man, I love that answer right there. Party horn for you, baby. Let's go. All right. Once NY comes back, we're going to pop him in here. Ben, anything else you want to leave the people with? It's good to see you again, brother. Hope everything is going well.
Everything's going well, man. Wish you guys the best. Cheers. Love you guys.
All right. Cheers. Salute. Love you too, man. You be safe over there. Woke Mike, are you staying for a while or do you need to go?
I can stay.
All right. If you're going to stay, then I'm going to go ahead to my man Darren over here. Let's get my man Darren in here. Darren, I haven't seen you in a really, really long time, man. How's it going? What's going on with you?
Going on. I've been busy working a lot.
I understand. I get it, man. Trust me, I get it. I was working during the show. I got a weird text message from my regional manager, and I couldn't tell if he was getting smart with me, if I was being sensitive because the Niners are on or what. Maybe he was being serious. I don't know. I'll find out in the morning when work starts and I'm back on the clock again officially. But, you know, work doesn't stop, and neither does the day. So what were your thoughts on the game, Darren, man? Give me your biggest takeaway.
Biggest takeaway was the D-line actually showed up and got some good sacks. 7 sacks without Nick Bosa out there on the field. Who would have thunk it, man? You know, and you're saying it, man. Your Tua Gross-Matos finished with 3. I know Malik Collins ended up getting 1. I know my man Floyd ended up getting 1. I feel like there was one by somebody else, but I can't remember who it was. You know what? I don't know why I'm sitting here guessing. I got the stats right here in front of me. Let's not play that game. Let's show a little bit more respect than that. All right, so the sacks were as follows. 3 for YGM. I said that already. Leonard Floyd got 2. Malik Collins got 1. And that doesn't equal 7. That only equals 6. Who am I missing? There were 7 sacks. I see 3, 2, 1. Somebody is missing because the Niners, maybe one of them, maybe he ran out of bounds or something like that. And it wasn't credited to anybody because I'm only seeing 6 here, but I know that the Niners were credited with 7 sacks. But in addition to the sacks, there was just some pressure there, man. Like, was this what you expected to see without Nick Bosa in the lineup, Darren? Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. What player do you think surprised you the most on that defensive line and why?
That would be Kevin Givens. Guy showed up really well.
Okay. All right. Listen, man, this team has got a long, long way to go. We've got some fighting to do. It's going to be a long year. Do you want to see the Niners make the postseason?
Actually, kind of not, because I want to see what we could get defensively in the draft.
In the draft, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to let you stand on the ledge by yourself. I might be right there with you. I had a feeling that we were going to win this game because I was already thinking ahead to the draft. So it was like, watch us win this one, a game that we shouldn't win. It's an NFC thing. It's tiebreakers and all that stuff. We might end up finishing with a similar record to them. And then, we'll see what happens. But, oh, well, what's done is done. The Niners have won. But, Darren, any final thoughts before I let you go? And then after you, we'll get the Terradome.
Well, happy 37th birthday to me. Thank you, Niners, for the win.
Wait, when's your birthday?
Yesterday.
Oh, shit. Hold on now. Hold on. Party horn for you.
One on Pearl Harbor.
Slide that in there.
Say what?
Hey, man, look. Hold on. Let me hold this up, brother. Hold on now. Everybody, hold their glasses up one more time for my man Darren, man. I didn't know we had a birthday boy in the building. Huh? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Darren. Happy birthday to you. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Yeah, if y'all thought I was going to sing like Wayne, y'all got me fucked up. All right, man. Darren, have a good one, my man. It's good to see you, all right? You be safe out there.
You too.
All right. Terradome is next up. Next up, I believe that's me. Yo, get on the mic and rock a symphony.
Yo,
let's go.
Getting it off. Rocking. Yeah. Big Daddy Kane and the boys back in the day. I remember.
Come on, baby. I thought you would appreciate something like that. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, you got to put a man on the mic. That's dope. That's dope.
Talk to me, big dog. I want an honest assessment.
Very solid win. We minimized mistakes at the end. I was on with you as you were pontificating the game along with your special guests and everything. Shout out to the Patreon. Nothing but Niners. I've been down A1 day one.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me plug that in there. Shameless plug. Hold on. You keep talking, man. That Patreon right there, y'all. If y'all want to.
Yeah, there it is, man. Y'all jump on with your boy, man. He be out there. He might talk about anything he talk about the commercials, everything. Get on the phone, cuss his employees out while they on it. Anything can happen. You don't know what might go down. I remember one time Mike was talking about hookers in the background. I'm like,
oh Jesus!
Do Mike know he's hot?
Oh man! Let me take the Patreon off. Never mind. We all might.
I mean, they weren't buying them. They just were talking about an area or something. Yeah, it'd be hookers out there. Yeah, I heard it. Hey, you know the game, oh. But
yeah. Speaking of the game, 49ers, Bears. Come on, please, save us, man.
Very, very dope performance, man. Solid across the board. It's what good 49er football should be like and is like. We ran it quite a bit. Isaac Garendo looked really, really well. My scouting report on him was he's a straight line runner. He doesn't give you too much hip, doesn't give you too much hop. He gets that ball. He's going to where the hole is supposed to be, and if he gets through, it's done. I'm glad we utilized his wide receiver skills because he has a wide receiver in his background, particularly those nice throws from Purdy to him. He dropped a couple of dimes. Purdy looked very, very well, man. I'm in there arguing with, I don't know, I think his name was Big C or somebody. He's Purdy trash. I said, well, I'm seeing 16 of 18 for 200 plus yards, two touchdowns, and ran one in there. If that's trash, you need to take out this garbage, young man. I don't know. You know, I know how it is. If you just hate him, you hate him. But hey, solid performance. And then our defense stepped up in the absence of others like the great Nicholas John Bosa. We saw a collective effort of defense. The energy was different. The energy was we out here to show really what we can do. At one time before the half, I had it at 49ers for total yardage 316, 314 to 4. That was total yardage.
319. I apologize. 319 to 4 because we had 315 more than them. That's right.
Yes,
that's
sir.
right.
That's the dominant performance.
That was an NFL record, by the way. That was an NFL record this season.
Well,
this season.
Hit the thing, man. Hit the.
My bad.
That's what they're capable of. And I know people are gonna I dropped it in the chat, no hateration, no holleration in this dancery. They're gonna say, well, it won't nobody but the Bears and this and that. Those guys get paid too. Those guys got a lot of talent. I was scouting them all. That defense is solid. They got good ball players. Bayard, their linebackers are good. Dexter, Carter, Montez Sweat. Those is decent ball players, man. And that line ain't.
TJ Edwards is a monster.
Yeah.
TJ Edwards is a monster. They got to stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man.
We weren't doing that against Little Sisters of the Poor University or nothing. We need to check up. I haven't got, maybe y'all got the official word on Barch. I thought Barch was having, he had an amazing game against Buffalo. It got overshadowed by just the sheer loss, but fundamentally sound. He was coming off. He comes off low. He steps towards the second level real good. And if you want to check me out on Terror Dome Tuesdays and Thursdays, I might do a Monday and a Wednesday this week because we're so short. But I'll show you intricate ways about the offensive line and why certain steps are right and what I see in deficiencies that he's doing that's correct versus a kid like Banks or a kid like Brindle. Barch is having a really good couple of games there, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt. I don't know the severity of it.
It was a left ankle injury for him. Did not return to the game, obviously. So it remains to be seen. They're going to look at it some more after the game.
Yeah, they carted him. I hope it's not broke or whatever, what have you. And I seen Garindo got a little banged up at the end, which gave us the emergence of one. What's his name? Patrick Taylor Jr., who looked a little with that 32, Mike. He reminded me a little bit of Ricky Waters, just in how he walked.
Oh Lord!
In his frame, they look very, very similar in those numbers to me. They just look similar. I'm not gonna attest to say he's the threat out of the backfield that Ricky Waters was, but just their gait and how they move and how they fit in a uniform. They look very similar. But solid across the board. We minimized mistakes, didn't do anything dumb until we got the penalties in the kicking game. And I think Kittle did a false start, and it was a couple of little ticky-tack. The kickoff, once again, the special teams.
That happened twice. That special teams going to cost us something, but, it was enough for the defense and offense to overcome. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but it was decent. Great company, great game, solid performances across the board. Everybody getting the game ball.
Speaking of special teams, and by the way, kudos to you, everybody getting the game ball. I'll round of applause that right there, because that is a rarity for this 49ers this season. So I would definitely round of applause that. All right, enough of the applause there. Speaking of the special teams, though, I want to ask, were you disappointed that Debo didn't bring it out at all?
No, I want Debo to kind of rest himself. I don't want him taking more shots than enough. I don't like that the kickoff rules this year. I know it's an experimental year. They might go back. We need to really go back. I don't think the UFL uses that anymore. The USFL, I don't think they use that kickoff thing anymore. It looks funny, hokey. Yeah, it needs to be done. I'm disappointed that the Buffalo Bills didn't handle their business with Los Angeles and get us in a better place to really lock this NFC West up. I know one of your questions is going to be, should we go hard and get everything, or should we just go ahead and kind of, I don't want to say tank, but look for future endeavors and who's going to be here, who's going to not. I'm a rocket to the wheels fall off kind of guy. I think we go as hard as you can. If you can get in the playoff, get in the playoffs. If it's meant for you, you got to go and get it. But we'll see. We'll see. The Rams gonna come in here hot on Thursday. Y'all know these Rams fans be talking junk when we ain't in position, and we done swept them. So it's gonna be a hot, quick week. So let's get down and get it.
So since you already answered the question about whether or not the Niners should push to make a postseason run, I won't ask that. I think you are of that ilk that you want to see us if we can get there. So it's anybody's ball game. So I understand. I understand the people with that mindset, right? I do absolutely get it. Where do you think Kyle Shanahan improved the most in this game? Now, I want you to evaluate Kyle Shanahan as the head coach, not the offensive coordinator.
Play sequencing, he kept it on the ground quite a bit, running it on first downs. This is how the breakdown goes. If you can get 3.5 yards on first down, it is a win. If you can get more than 3.5 and over on first down, it is a win. It's no need in trying to kill them. It's no need in going 20 yards downfield and going spread set. I didn't see any empty sets, but Kyle stuck to his guns as far as the run, and the run is our essence. It's what we do. You can't change a player's game in the ninth inning and try to become something you're really not. Just run the rock, be smart, get 3.5 yards. That makes it 2nd and 7, and then you methodically get another 4 yards, either run or pass, and then you set up for a 3rd and short, and now you can play football. But it ain't all Kyle's fault. It gets really crazy when we get a false start, and now it's 1st and 15, and now he's looking at the play sheet, wondering, well, dang, now I got to get back 8 yards and maybe 7 yards, and I'm trying to do this or that. We stayed away from that. We didn't turn it over too much. So Brock had a couple of passes that were tipped, but luckily Juwan Jennings came down with one, and one. The other two kind of floated out there. We got to watch how we throw it into tight coverage, particularly across the middle. It draws a lot of attention, but that can be worked out. These are things that can be worked out, and just avoiding the dumb stuff. I thought Kyle did really all right until the end. He kind of lost control of the clock a little bit. If you're looking at that, the 2-minute warning and the differentiation between the 2-minute warning and the play clock, I could see clearly.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta. It was like 15 seconds left on the 2-minute on the game clock, and only 11 seconds, less than 11, before they broke the huddle. I said, "Hey, you're gonna have to take a timeout here. Don't." And then we get to delay a game, bump ourselves out even more, and now you're dealing with the 2-minute warning and a long 3rd down, and that just messes you up, man. And my motto is, I wouldn't accept anything in a loss that I accept in a victory. A lot of times victories can make you just brush over. Oh, don't worry about that.
Now you're preaching.
No, you gotta hold yourself to the standard of good, excellent, efficient football every time. That way it becomes second nature, and that's what you know, and that's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I like a lot of what you said. I agree with a lot of what you said too. So I won't try to touch on it or anything like that, man. But it was good to see the Niners kind of rebound. The special teams unit is the special teams unit. It's so crazy, right? We step back from the special teams unit and say, oh, they only had a couple of penalties and, almost an injury. So it wasn't a bad game, right? Like, think about that. Like, that to us is a good game.
Standard, yeah. It's like being the tallest, the tallest midget. Yes.
Oh, Jesus. He said the M word. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that no more. Yeah, but that right. Like, that's what it was, right? It's like, come on, man.
We didn't blow it.
You are the smartest idiot in the room. Like, good job. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it felt like that's where we were, But hey, listen, man, baby steps towards progress. That's what we want to see. And I commend the Niners, Kyle as a coach, for getting the depth motivated. That's what's really, really important here. That's what the $1 million question is right there. The depth was motivated. The depth showed up. There were guys out there playing really, really hard, playing and fighting.
Inspired football. The energy was better today. The energy all around. We weren't clicked up and nothing like you seen guys playing freer, guys playing with purpose, guys playing with some audaciousness. You could just feel the energy, man. The energy is always better when you're all together and you're a team. A fist can strike down a lot more than 5 separate fingers, depending on your pimp slap.
He said the pimp slap. You put baby powder on that bad boy?
Yeah. You remember how he did it on Friday After Next?
All right, let me stop acting up, man. Let me stop. All right, guys, listen, man. We got Kyle Shanahan coming up soon. I am going to get to the Kyle presser. I'm going to bring one or two more people in here for the show. Mike and Dan, are y'all good to continue rocking? Do I need to let y'all speak now? Y'all let me know. Dan gave me the signal. He's good to go. Cool,
good.
Mike. I'm sorry, cool, Mike. I'm sorry, woke Mike. I apologize.
Woke Mike.
Woke
good.
Mike.
I'm
I
good.
definitely meant to say woke Mike. And
Hey,
listen, man, I know a lot of
what's
people
this mean,
are
man? When they do that in Hawaii, what's this? Hang loose or?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I did it because I do this because it's like I'm good.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay. No.
All right.
I'm
Now,
good.
I don't
bro.
know. I've never rode a surfboard or
I-
anything like that before, so I'm not 100% sure. But I just took that as like I'm cool. I'm loose.
I do have a question for Terradome.
Go ahead, Danny, man.
Let's mix it up. Shake it up, then, baby. What's up,
Terradome, I have a question
Cloudbox?
for you. Okay, so you said that you scouted. The Bears, kind of, right?
Yes, sir. I looked at 2 or 3 of the previous ball games.
Okay.
One last week in Phoenix or Arizona, weeks prior.
Okay. So now that the Bears have fired Eberflus, do you think that they're gonna continue this downhill trend where they lose by 20 points a game now, or do you think that it's just a coincidence that they just happened to lose that game today? Because they did lose, because they have only like 2 games where they've lost by double-digit points. So that was against the Cardinals and the Patriots.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and they were
wanted to
in it. I was very concerned because they were really in it against some good teams. Remember, the kid just blew it against Washington. He's down there playing WWF Hulk Hogan while they're throwing a Hail Mary, and he tips it and messes it up. And Thanksgiving Day, we all watched. If the tryptophan didn't kick in, we were watching them play Detroit, who's a really, really good team, and they played them to the death. The losses that they had were only losses to good teams, or with the exception of a couple of blowouts, good teams that were within 3 or 4 points. I think altogether it was 10 points that they had lost by. They just either find ways to lose it or just didn't know how to win and close at the end. But they got a foundational truth of some good ball players. Now, with them getting fired, I knew that they would be a little bit messed up because you got a first-time coach coaching against Kyle Shanahan, who has a plethora of experience, but there's always the wild card. You don't know what this dude might do. He might come out there and run wildcat on you, and they might go Delaware wing tee. I don't know what he might do. I figured we win, but hey, it's a wild card in there. I think they're gonna police themselves up, man, and they're gonna finish it out strong. They're a tenacious team. They're gonna keep trying. When at the beginning of the second half, they came out and they tried to answer back, and they pulled it within 2 scores. I think it was a bad idea not to kick the extra point attempt and try to go for 2. But I can kind of see how he did that with it being 24. He wanted to go 8 times 3 being 24. But they're gonna be around. They're gonna show up. They got some dogs out there.
All right. We good to go?
Certainly good to go. I'm gonna hang out too, Mike, if that's all possible. I ain't really got nowhere to go.
No. Yeah. You do not have to drop out at all. I do want to share one thing really quick. I know my man Darren was on here and he said he was impressed with Kevin Givens. I don't think he meant to say Givens, guys. I don't want us to tear people down like that. He could have been talking about a plethora of players that stepped up in the absence of Kevin Givens, like Sam O, Evan Anderson. Those guys were out there and they looked pretty solid against the run, and they were doing their thing out there. So let's not try to this guy's wrong. He's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's not do that. And maybe me highlighting it puts a little bit more spotlight on it. But what I wanted to do is make us better as a community. Obviously, Kevin Givens is on IR, and that's not who he meant to say. But I want us to be better than poking fun at one of another when we misspeak. Because God knows, if you guys watch this show, I do that shit all the time. Tara, go on mute. You ain't have to. You ain't going. Oh yeah, Mike. Mike do that shit all the time. This is you. Stop it. I put you on mute. We can't even hear you laughing. No, you sit over there and fade out in the back. He gonna say, Daddy P, man, what's going on? Tony G. I got my guys Tony and Daddy P in here, man. Hold up, Tony. I thought you were at work, bro. What's going on, Tony?
You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, man. I thought you were at work. What's going on, dog?
I ran out real quick. Gotta go do something. I gotta go back in like 15
You had to
minutes.
do it like that.
Yeah, no, Daddy P, you gotta wait, man, because Tony only gonna be here for a limited time. He like the McRib sandwich at McDonald's, man. You ain't getting this shit all year long.
You right here. We were just watching the game. So yeah, okay, I'm cool. I'm chilling. I've been waiting for a minute, bro. Hold on. Let me sit in the lobby. I'm good.
I'm gonna get all right. He said he gonna go back in the lobby. Tony, man, what's going on, man? My man Tony, the resident GM, the McRib sandwich.
Excuse me, bitch.
What'd you think, man? Kyle got back in his bag. I think. Listen, Tony, I said it during the live. I don't know if you were still in there or not while we were on for the game. I said Kyle Shanahan, this was his opportunity to get back to his basics here. And what I mean by his basics is Kyle will take the general rules of football and put teams in binding positions. And I saw that happen today, right? When you're going up against a guy who was an interim head coach, he's going to call the basics. He wants his team to just execute the basics well. And Kyle knew that. He's going to put those linebackers in compromising positions when he moves one guy from here to there and to see how they react. So I always thought that Kyle was going to be able to manipulate the defense. Where I thought we were going to fall short was the tackling from our defense, and I thought that our defense was going to allow the Bears offense to go toe-to-toe with us shot for shot and blow for blow. That did not happen. So, Tony, give us your rundown, your breakdown on the game and from everything that you saw, everything that you listened to, and tell us how you really felt.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they came out and played. Like we talked on the pregame, I was looking for one thing, competing and not quitting. And we saw the competing. They were competitive all game, and they didn't quit all game. So those are two key factors that I was looking for. Watching and observing players that could potentially be borderline fringe players this year and have key roles next year. I was happy. Unfortunately, we had no help today because the Rams won and Seattle won. So
they sure did.
Yeah. So like the playoff, the 1% looks like it's down to 0.5% now, like we spoke about earlier. But I mean, hey, you never know. The team didn't give up. They competed. The injuries kept coming. Barch, we don't know what's wrong with him. Garendo limped off the field in the second half. Now he's banged up. It's just like this team can't catch a break.
Both Barch and Garendo had ankle injuries. I just want to put that out there. We're going to hear from Kyle in a few seconds, but that was what he said. And X-rays showed nothing. I'm sorry. Barch had an ankle injury, and Garendo had a foot injury. Sorry. My apologies.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, there's a lot of positive. The negative was cut down, like, significantly. Like, there were the special teams had no blunders, to my knowledge. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game. A lot of it was on Twitter and stuff like that, but there's no major turnovers with the special teams or issues with the special teams. Penalties were a lot lower than what they've been. The missed tackles have been a lot lower than what they've been. And, the continuity right now between Brock, Kittle, and Jennings is unreal, man. They're locked in. Unfortunately, I don't think he trusts Purdy. Not Purdy. I don't think Purdy trusts Pearsall. They're not there yet. So that's got to be worked on. It's hopefully something that can be worked on this offseason going into next year. But it's just not there right now. So
I'm here to defend them. I'm here to defend Pearsall and Purdy. Here's my bold take. Kyle Shanahan is doing too much controlling of his quarterbacks. I don't think that he doesn't trust those guys. The words that I took from last week, when you hear George Kittle say, I was open, I was running some routes out there, and they just didn't throw me the ball. Then you hear Purdy get back to the podium and echo those same sentiments. The play didn't allow me to get to George Kittle. That tells me that Kyle is saying these are your reads, and these are the reads you go through. That does not say I don't trust George Kittle. Yeah.
Mike, your mic is like fizzing and popping.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Mic check.
Right,
Mic
yeah.
check. 1 2. Is
Good
that?
now.
Did I fix it? Is that better?
Yeah, you fixed it.
I
Well,
apologize.
The one thing, Mike, is like if you saw that pass, right, that he tried to throw deep, maybe 18 to 20 yards, maybe 15 to 20 yards down the field to Pearsall. All right,
Yeah.
it's one of two things. Brock thought he's going to be deeper, more downfield, and he broke it off early, or the vice versa for the opposite. So that's where I'm saying I don't think the trust is there on where to be, when to be, because you got to remember he's an anticipatory thrower. So if that timing's not right and they're not in the right spots, that's when it looks shitty, and that's where it comes down to a trust issue.
Can I comment right quick?
And it also, yeah, Daddy P, hold on. And it also, I think it has to do with two players just not having the chemistry together, right? Purdy kind of like hesitated and then threw. Maybe he was waiting to see if Pearsall was going to stop and sit, and I can throw it to a spot versus I should continue to lead him. And Pearsall looked like he hesitated at the end of that route, thinking, is Purdy going to throw it to a spot or is he going to let me run? And it looks like they weren't on the same page. That could just be a rhythmic thing, like you said. He throws in rhythm. I think that they just have to get on the same page. But what I don't want to do is put the misconception out there that they don't trust each other or Purdy doesn't trust him.
You're taking trust. You're taking trust and flipping it the wrong way. Trust in being on the same page is similar in what I'm saying. He doesn't trust that he's going to be in the same spot. He right now he's not comfortable in trusting, and he's going to be in that spot when he unleashes that ball. If you want to maybe switch the word to trust and confidence or belief or whatever like that, that's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
They're not on the same page is what I'm trying to say. And when you throw with anticipation, that's where trust comes in. If I know I'm going to put this ball 2 yards in front of you and you're going to break and be at that 2-yard spot and that ball's going to hit you between the numbers, that's a trust issue.
Okay. All right, Daddy P, I know you wanted to chime in there really quick. I just wanted to get that thought out because I am very scatterbrained here. So go ahead, your thoughts on it. I know you wanted to respond to what Tony was saying there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take over Tony, but I just want to say, like, I once he fully explained everything with how he was running through that, I really understood more what he was saying about the trust issue. But I think that was probably more of a choice route, and that was more of a situation where other players like Christian McCaffrey would have told him, "I'm gonna cut it short," or "I'm gonna keep it long," because I think that play design was for him to keep going the way he was going, and he cut and turned. Because if you did the stutter that you talked about, Mike, that's when he decided to go in instead of going out, and Brock threw it out to a spot that he would have been. Because if he had kept going straight before he made that turn right there and
touchdown,
he would have been there, right?
Would have been
so
a touchdown,
I think but that's the same thing Tony was saying is the trust issue that I don't know what you're thinking, and we haven't gotten that thing. And Christian McCaffrey said in a game he went and told Brock, they've been doing this, so I'm gonna do this. So I'm hit me long, and that was on that play that Christian McCaffrey was wide open and backpedaled for the ball. He was running backwards. Remember that play? Y'all remember that play? That was the same
it was
play
the
that
wheel
he told
route.
him. Right, and he told Brock what he was going to do, and he said that in the press conference. I told him this, that, and the other. So I think that communication on understanding who you are, what you're going to do, and me knowing that.
Right.
I think Pearsall kind of looks more at Brock as the leader on that, so Brock should have. And this is my kickback. That's where Brock needs to go to him and say, hey, if I see this, then you need to do that. But Brock is growing. This is only his third year. I'm not putting no knock on him because I love Brock.
Yeah.
I am a full supporter of Brock Purdy.
All right, I respect that, Daddy P. I'm gonna give it back to Tony because, like I said, I know he's on limited time here, and my only response to that is, Christian McCaffrey NFL veteran, MVP candidate, offensive player of the year, blah, 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 blah. He is going to go to Brock and say, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Ricky Pearsall, rookie, barely got much time practicing with you. I need you to tell me what you want me to do. I think we're kind of looking at it with a little bit of revisionist history. They weren't ever in that situation until that moment. So now we will learn and grow from that. What we want to see here going forward is not make that same mistake again, and I think the Niners are in a place to do that. So it's not that anybody is wrong here. I want to be very clear. I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all. I think that everything that you guys said is valid here. So we just hope that they learn from it. So, Tony, the floor is yours again to get some more of your thoughts off here. I want to know what your thoughts are on the defense as well, man. I know you got a lot to say about the offense and how we looked and less shotgun snaps and all that stuff, and we seem to be very much more rhythmic on offense. But, man, this defense did something, man. It was weird, right, because they were still missed tackles. But you know what they did do today? They swarmed. They swarmed. They got after it. They got after it today, man. They minimized the damage, and we haven't seen that in about 5 or 6 weeks, man. I don't know about y'all, but that shit got me excited today. That shit got me fired up. That got me fired up. So, Tony, I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to walk away. I'm listening. I got my earbuds in, but I'm listening, but I'm going to walk away.
You have to say what happened between the closed doors when John Lynch walked into that room. My opinion, I think John Lynch chewed that whole defense out and gave him a piece of his mind because of the way John Lynch played as a player and his mentality as a player and his success as a player. And clearly that's not the way John Lynch would have played in previous weeks this season. And another thing is, all right, yeah, Nick Bosa's down. But my question is, why is the pass rush as a unit with the front four look like it's a little bit more successful than when Nick Bosa's on the field? And I think that no, it's not Nick Bosa. It's not Nick Bosa. I think that comes down to coaching. I think the coaches rely too much on Nick Bosa and don't do nothing with the other three and expect Nick Bosa to do and overtake a game, even though he's being double teamed and chipped at times and cracked at on times. So what you see when there's no one there to require a double team, they rushed more freely and they got in the backfield a little bit more freely and a little bit more with a higher success rate. And I put that on the defensive line coach and the defensive coordinator. If this defensive line could do that and have this type of day, and I know Chicago's offensive line isn't in the top echelon of the NFL for offensive linemen units, but they're still a professional football team. You have a first-round pick in Darnell Wright, a great center that they drafted, I think, 2 years ago. You got a couple plug-and-play pieces, just like the Niners do. But the success rate that they played with today, I haven't seen all season. And if they can come up with something to gel and let these guys play the way they did with Nick Bosa on the field, I think this defensive line could be better as a unit with Nick Bosa, just as much as it is without Nick Bosa. I think it could be even better. But for some strange reason, it's not there when Nick Bosa's on the field.
Man, when's the last time the Niners had 7 sacks in the game, even with Nick Bosa on the field?
Let him cook.
Like, y'all, we got to stop playing here. We got to stop acting like this is something that's normal. The Niners have not had 7 sacks in the game in a very long time. I don't care if Nick Bosa was on the field or not.
I can't remember.
Right. And so to see it go down the way that we saw it go down was great. Now, that's not saying, oh, get rid of Nick Bosa, we don't need him. Stop. That is not what any of us on here are saying.
No.
Right. I think what Tony's point was is that finally they decided to say, hey, let's unleash these guys in their way because Nick Bosa isn't here, right? It's one thing to have Nick Bosa on the field and say, all right, he's going to dictate if he plays on the left or right side, and then we got to adjust to him. Now the whole entire defensive line is just, we're at a pause. We're just waiting. Now we just got to see what Nick Bosa wants to do, because I have heard multiple times, how true it is, I don't know, but right before the snap, Nick Bosa can pick if he wants to go to the left tackle or the right tackle. How true it is, I don't know. But if that's true, even if it's situational, even if it's only on 3rd and longs, even if it's only on 1st and longs because of a pre-snap penalty, what kind of bind does that put the rest of the defensive line in? What does that tell to whoever's playing on the opposite side of Nick Bosa? right? You can't get into a rhythm. Tonight it was, hey, this is your job. This is what we want you to do. And these guys went out there and they did it and they executed. First week,
It's like
last
We had 7
week in the
sacks?
snow, we
Mike.
had
You know
7
what it's
sacks,
like,
bro.
You know what it's
We had
like.
7
I'm gonna be honest with you. Watching that game today and watching the games previously, it's like Nick Bosa has free reign, and the other 3 rushers rush with the mentality of a cleanup sack.
Yes, let Nick Bosa get there, and then we got to make sure that he doesn't mess up too much if he doesn't get it. That's exactly what it is. They're reactionary to what Nick Bosa does. That's not right, guys. That's not right. And this is why I've been saying Chris Kosaric is overrated. This has been my biggest gripe with Chris Kosaric all along. I know people are like, oh, Mike, you tripping, you bugging, blah, blah. I don't. It's fine. It's cool. I'm cool with what y'all think about me. But here's what I'm saying. You can't be this defensive line genius if your defensive line can't produce because of the absence of one player.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I get it. But that's harsh.
So? You're the highest paid defensive line coach in the entire NFL. That's harsh. That's harsh. Live up to it, big dog. That's all I'm saying. Live up to it. Today, the 49ers defensive line
learn how to do it without him, though. They had to figure out what they need to do when he's not there because Nick is so dependent on him. We pay him to be that guy, and with him not being out there, what he provides doesn't necessarily translate for the rest of the guys. So now they need to know how to learn to do without him.
If you think for a second I'm going to disagree with anything you said, you're wrong.
No, I don't think you would.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said. My issue is that they don't even put the team in position. They don't even train these guys to go out there and play as if Nick Bosa is not going to be there. That's wrong. That's not good, and that's not sustainable. So what we saw tonight, what we saw tonight was a tip of the iceberg. Yeah, no, I agree with you. They have to learn, and the only way you learn is with experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to see. To Tony's point, man, they look good. Now imagine if we could do that with Nick Bosa in there. But here's the difference: once Nick Bosa comes back and he starts picking his spot, now we're reacting. Well, which guy plays better on the left side or right side? Oh man, if I'd have known that Nick was going to go to that side, I would have put this guy out there. But it's too late now because the other guy's already out there, and we just got to see what happens. No, that's not good. That's not good. Give Nick Bosa an assignment, and if he's as good as you say he is, let him execute said assignment so that the other 3 defensive linemen can go out there and do their jobs as well. We've been arguing about contain and all that stuff all year long, and you got a guy with his right foot forward playing on the left side of the ball. What are we talking about here? Like, what are we doing here? Like, we got to make some sense. And so you can't do that if these guys aren't used to it. That's all I'm saying. So put your foot down and say, hey, I have an excellent player, I have a phenomenal player, but he can operate well in my system. Not I'm going to form my system around that player. That tells me that you are dependent on the talent and not the other way around.
Right. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Tony, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to jump in.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, like, and another thing is like, I don't know who the hell it was on Twitter, but someone posted, who's calling this defense today? Sorensen or Staley?
Oh, snap. Oh, now y'all getting y'all conspiracy. I'm going to shut up. Nope.
No, but seriously, like, we haven't seen this. We haven't seen this all year.
This defense was so amazing.
Yo, you want to talk about conspiracy theories, bro? I'm not going. I'm not saying it. I can't say it.
I'll say it. Tony thinks that Kubiak, Daddy Kubiak.
No.
Tony thinks Daddy Kubiak hotwired that headset and say, "Hey, watch this. I still got it, big dog."
It has nothing to do with the Niners, bro. No, it has nothing to do with the Niners, man. I promise you.
What is it? Don't leave us on the cliffhanger. Tell us something.
Man, there's fucking drones. There's drones all over New Jersey right now, bro. These things flying in the. You don't know. Shit.
Tony, we just opened our 911 center to a drone unit who's tracking drones and law enforcement.
Bro,
they anticipated this new drone thing happening.
Yeah.
It says a lot of drones out here, and they've got ways to put it down electronically.
What are y'all talking about?
These ain't no normal drones, Tower Dog.
Are y'all talking about EMPs? Wait, what the hell? Did we just turn this into a military podcast? What is happening? What are y'all talking? Are y'all talking about real drones?
It's a lot of drones. that people have either purchased this year or I don't know what it is, but there's a big influx of drones around. It could be Amazon too. I don't know, but it's a lot of drones
Timu,
out there.
don't forget about Timu.
Timu, the Timu drones landed in the Atlantic, big dog. They didn't make it all the way over. All right, listen, man. Let's get back to it, man. For everybody who has some time still, where is my man? Where Dan? You still here? Mike, you still here? Let's get my man Mike in here. I got to get my man's Mike's thoughts on this really quick, and then we're gonna bring Kyle Shanahan in, and then we're gonna have Dan come in here, and Dan's gonna give us our poem. Everybody is free to stay. I'm not kicking anybody off. You guys are on here. It looks like we just. Oh no, Tony is still on here. I thought we lost
Can I
Tony,
do
but
it
Mike.
for you?
No, he was supposed to, but then you guys started partying, so now he's not.
No. Bong. I got him muted. Go ahead, Mike. I got him. Go ahead.
Here, I got a conspiracy theory for you. It's John Lynch calling the plays.
Oh, because John Lynch was pissed off. Hey, listen, if y'all listen to KNBR, y'all would know what I was talking about. If y'all listen to that interview that John Lynch did on KNBR, you would know exactly what Woke Mike, this Mike, and Tony were talking about. John Lynch was not happy. The way that man said, we got to get back to basics. We got to get back to fundamentals. We have to tackle. We have to be in position to make plays. John Lynch said everything except your remedial ass should not have a job. He said everything except that to Nick Sorensen. Everything except that to Nick Sorensen. And he did it in less than 12 seconds. I had never heard nobody just go off like that and just next question. He has not been happy. Mike, please keep going, man. Please. Oh, I think Tony wanted to jump in. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I'm sorry. I just had to do something. I missed it.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Mike was saying that he thinks, what if John Lynch was the one calling the defensive plays?
No, I don't think John Lynch was still calling the defensive plays. I think John Lynch, like I said before, ripped this team a new you know what. I definitely.
But who do you think was calling the defensive plays then?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're trying something behind closed doors that they're not coming out with. I don't know. But the defense. This is the first time this defense has played with this aggression. I don't know, man.
Could be Staley.
I mean, did you see the day? I didn't watch the whole game on TV, like I said, because I had to get ready for work because they called me in. But did they pan to Sorensen at all on the defense on the sideline?
No,
I don't remember seeing Sorensen once.
No,
I don't remember seeing him either.
They panned to Forrester for a minute that I recall, but
yeah, because he had the cleats on in remembrance of his wife.
His wife.
Amen.
Ovarian cancer. Cancer. Rest in peace. Lost her this year right before the Super Bowl. That is nuts. That is absolutely. Oh man, I don't know how he called. I don't know how he went to the Super Bowl. This team.
Hey, Mike.
Oh,
we snake bitten, man. Yeah.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
It looks like Izzy wants to come in.
Oh, is she ready down there?
It says, "Can I come in, please?"
I have not seen the private chat at all. I apologize. I have been living in the moment, man. Wait, but before Izzy gets on here, Woke Mike, any other thoughts from you from this game, man? Come on. Y'all can't tell me that I'm the only person upset that the Niners won this game. Like, our draft stock, we just went down 3 picks on the draft board. I'm the only one. Come on now. Y'all know damn well we not making the postseason. All we did was shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Mike.
It reminds us. It reminds you of the Bosa year. Remember the Bosa? No, was it with Bosa or with Myles Garrett? The year with Myles Garrett, maybe, where they were at 2 and they trade back. They were trying to get the first round pick.
Well,
the first overall pick.
With Bosa, we did not have the number 1 pick. The year that we traded back with the Bears one year from 2 to 3. Was that that wasn't the Myles Garrett year, was it?
Yes.
Was that the Myles Garrett year?
Yes, because he went number 1, and we beat somebody the last game of the year that put us at number 2.
That was the year Baker went.
I remember
first.
that season. That was so that was 2016. That was so the 2016 season. We beat the Rams in the first game and beat the Rams on the last game, and then because the Browns had because the Browns got the number 1 pick because they went 1-15 that year, and we were 2 and.
Shout out to Chip Kelly. Shout out to Chip Kelly. 2-14, baby. Gotta win one more, right? I mean, but look, it is what it is. But I feel like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot here. So we can't even lose the right way that we're supposed to. But I don't want to be negative. Melissa, let's bring you up really quick, and then we're gonna hear from Shanahan. Then we're gonna hear from Dan. Yeah. So what's up? How's it going? Huh? Happy holidays and all that stuff. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up? I see you with the hoop earrings representing. She a Jersey girl too.
Have any
I thought those were the big ass hoops. Okay, I thought you was wearing the big hoops. That one over there on that side underneath the hair looks like a big hoop.
My ears can't stay pierced, so that's another thing. But I would if I could. No, I wanted to come on. You know, things have been really rough the last couple weeks. It's gotten worse. Mom has to go in. She found some cyst on her colon, so she's really freaking out. And my dog is this little liability machine. He keeps falling over, and he has this like almost seizure thing he's been doing with his back legs, where he curls up in like a little ball.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I constantly have to watch him every second of every day. So it's been rough, and I miss Terra Dome and everybody on Wednesdays, but I have to step back for my family. But I was like, you know, it's a big win. You Gross Mottos has like 3 sacks today. Like I cannot show up for Mike Andrews. Like it just can't happen. So, Mike, come on, we wanted this the second we found out he was here. Like
I love it, Izzy.
It's like Brian Burns, you Gross Mottos, and like Jeremy Chin were like the 3 like big defenders from the Panthers.
Carolina,
so.
yeah. But they were doing their thing out there today.
Mike, do you know this is a big deal? This is the first time Jawan Jennings had 2 touchdowns and they did not choke the game away.
And they won! Huh? Shout out to Jawan. Finally, baby. Finally. Hey, they said, Jawan.
Ever.
They said, Jawan, get your ass in the end zone. Just don't get 150 plus yards. We got your back, baby. Just don't get the yards, just get the points, baby. There it is.
And you know what the crazy part was? I was going through Twitter and somebody brought it up again. And I'm telling you, Mike, it's probably never going to happen, but it's funny. They were tracking how many yards Kittle had. I think it was like 151 at one point. And they were like comparing it to Shannon Sharp's single game record. I'm like, he's never going to get that. There's like no way on God's green earth Kyle ever lets him have Shannon's record.
Man, Kittle had a great game.
He had 210 in one game, in one half against the Broncos, and then nothing for the rest of the game. Like, if you don't get it then, I don't know when the hell else will he ever get that many yards.
Kittle has 6 receptions on 6 targets, 151 yards, 25.2 a catch. He was dealing.
Good to see all you guys. All my Jersey guys up in here. Tony, Mike.
There's the jersey.
And Terra Dome.
Kyle doesn't.
How about Devondre Campbell led in tackles?
I may not be from Jersey, but I'm New York.
I'm sure he's got some one-liners.
Definitely from New York.
What borough?
So I lived up in. I was young when I was there, but let's see. I lived kind of more towards Manhattan. Manhattan there, I was like 3-4, but I still claim it.
I like Harlem. Harlem's my spot.
Love Harlem. I've been back. I visited, but I lived up towards that area.
I would never survive in Harlem because I have the fashion sense of a stray cat. So I would not make it. I would not. Yeah, nah, bro. Nah, man. I dress like I have. I dress like all my windows boarded up and we have no electricity. I just see what happens when I get outside. I have no idea what's going on.
You rock you some Sims and some baggies in today.
So
That's
you
it, baby.
You
That's
need to
it.
go to the Bronx then.
All right, so listen up, man. This is what we're going to do. We're going to bring Kyle Shanahan in here really quick. We want to hear what the coach has to say about this game. I got him all queued up. He's going to start with the injury report, and then we're going to hear the poem from Dan, the poem man, man. Dan, I'm so excited because we had a long layoff here. This hiatus is finally over. I don't know the last time we heard from anybody. The victory shots have been long missed. I want to salute to everybody that's on the chat right now, man. I appreciate you guys so much. But let's hear from our head coach, Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to ask everybody out there right now to go on mute. I'm going to turn the volume up. I'm going to mute myself while Kyle is speaking. Make your notes on the side so we can recap everything that he said afterwards. I'm going to let this play all the way through because I don't know how long he spoke for tonight. All right, so here we go.
All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Ben Barch went out with an ankle, didn't return. Isaac Grendo went out with a foot, didn't return. Go ahead.
Garendo's foot injury.
We're not sure. Possible foot sprain. X-rays didn't for sure show anything, so we'll have to look into more tomorrow.
Which the high ankle sprain is it? Or is
Yes. Yeah.
How much did you guys just need that right off the bat to just jump out to the 24-0 lead after what's gone on the last couple of weeks?
A lot. I mean, losing that close one at Seattle in the last play at home was so tough, and then the following 2 weeks were as bad as it got. So we had to step it up today. Wanted to play well. I thought we did play well, and the most important thing was getting a win, and we got it done. So I was proud of the guys, the way they came out and the way they finished.
That's offensive rhythm you think this team's been into the first half especially?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that first half went pretty well. So, having, I think, over 300 yards in a half, and I think our defense gave up 2. So I don't think anyone in the league's done that in half this year on both sides. So it was a hell of a first half.
What did you think of the way Isaac played before he got hurt, and how consciously were you trying to take advantage of his receiving skills? Those 2 catches obviously helped.
Brock got to a check down on that first third down. He was waiting on Kittle to get across the middle, and that's who I was watching. And then he went underneath to Isaac, and they just dropped him. So that was a huge play. But I thought Isaac looked real well, looked real good today. Ran hard, affected the game in the pass game, and hopefully we get some good news on his injury. So I had mixed emotions on that last drive. It was nice to be able to go on a 14-play drive to finish it with a touchdown and kind of put him away. But it was tough losing Isaac there.
Difference offensively today? It seems like you've been waiting to have this type of a performance all season.
It's just how it went. There's not like an answer on this compared to the rest of the season. Guys played well, stayed on the field on third down. Thought we got the run game and the pass game going. I thought the defense kept getting us the ball back every second in the first half, so it was easy to stick with it, and momentum's contagious, not just on the offense, but all 3 phases.
Were you a little anxious with the roughing the passer when Brock stayed down for a little bit?
Yeah, always when any of our players are down. But they talked to me in my headset and stuff, and by the time he got to the sideline, they told me it was good, so it was short-lived.
What did you think
Well, kind of asked similarly to what I was going to ask, but one of the themes this season between you guys and the players is we need to play complementary football, and it did seem that everybody was firing on all cylinders in all phases of the game today, and I wanted to know, did you think that was sparked by the offense? But you kind of just said that you feel like the defense, well, you said they kept it going. So do you think it was sparked by the offense, and do you think that's how you keep that going for the rest of the season?
We got the ball first and we scored, and then our defense got it right back to us, and it kind of went that way the whole half. So, I think maybe our second series we did punt, and when the defense stops the team 3 and out right after that and you get it right back, then you quickly forget about it. When you punt and they go down and tie it up, the whole game gets changed. So it's all complementary football, and the guys were in sync today.
What did you think of Hufanga's first game back, and what does his presence do for the secondary?
I was just pumped to get Huff out there in uniform. We weren't sure how it was going to go this week with him being back for practice, and we thought he looked real good. And then when he told me he had the confidence he had to play on Friday, I was pumped to start him. So just to get him out there, I thought was just the emotions of it. I thought sparked our team. It looked like he played real well, just from what I saw live. I'll see more on the tape, but just the type of guy Huff is, and getting him back out on the field with us throughout the week, and then in that game, I think fired our guys up.
You mentioned the other day that before Christian got here, you've been pretty plug and play with your running backs and be able to use different guys. For Isaac to step up like he did, and Patrick Taylor came in and got a touchdown. If Garendo is hurting, what can Taylor do for you?
I think you guys saw a little bit today. When we given Patrick runs, I mean, going back to the preseason and in practice, he's a good runner. He hits the right spots. He runs hard. So he's a guy who can definitely help us. And, he had some big carries, I want to say, versus Seattle. I think it was when JP went out and he was spelling Isaac, and he had to spell Isaac today. And when he went in, did a good job on all his opportunities.
What'd you say to early, like a raw guy, but after those 2 tough games, even 3 tough games, as you mentioned in the Seattle game, did you feel the need to speak to your team about keeping the mood up, or do you just sense that it was going to happen anyway?
You mean after the game?
Like going into this week.
I mean, yeah, every time you get in a meeting as a coach, you want to figure out something that's going to affect the players. And when I say affect them and make them practice better or play better, it's very rarely some special words that changes how guys play. But we did talk about the importance of this, where we were at, regardless of the result. I wanted to make sure that we came out today and just showed grit. We wanted to fight, and these last 2 weeks, just not making it a game was something we weren't proud of. And we were ready to battle today, regardless of how that went. It went as good as it could. So, I mean, the win was awesome, but I just wanted to make sure our 10 and how our team worked were ready. And you could tell in the meetings last night, guys were ready for this game, and it came out and it showed.
What was the message to the team, and do you think you can carry this momentum into Thursday night?
I hope so. I mean, momentum, we feel good right now. We played well. It's going to come fast, and the only way we're going to really enjoy today is if we take care of business on Thursday, and then we'll have 3 days to kind of enjoy it and come back and deal with our last 3 games. But if you don't take care of business on Thursday, not much to celebrate about today. So the main message in there is how proud I am of the guys, and now let's go home, get to sleep. Those guys take care of their bodies tomorrow. We'll put in the game plan tomorrow, and we got to come in Tuesday ready to go, because we're 48 hours from a game once it happens.
I feel like you were in a rhythm as a play caller. It seemed like you were calling things we haven't seen that much, like zone reads and tight end screens.
I mean, called some tight end screens this year. Zone read we hadn't, but that's just more of a scheme thing that we thought it looked good, and couldn't believe Brock didn't hand it off. But once he pulled it, I think that was a good decision too. Just we had to overcome that holding call, which we didn't and score, but I thought we did in the second half.
That's great. You said you wanted the guys to come out and play with some grit. When you think about the fact that Malik Mustafa took a hard hit, looked like he was a little rattled, came to the sideline, went back in, and he was the guy that broke up that play with Ozunde, or I think that's how you say his name. When he broke that up, if he wasn't there, that could have been a touchdown, obviously. But then also the grit behind Brock Purdy, taking a hard hit, coming right back at a snap later. Can you just speak to the resilience of those 2 guys?
Yeah, I mean, grit's is such a roundabout saying, but we got gritty dudes all over our team. We got as tough as guys as there is. I just wanted our team. We haven't been able to battle and finish a game when things have gone bad there, and that's what I wanted to make sure, just the whole team, that we're going to play with grit and show that. Not necessarily as individuals. I know we got gritty dudes all over, but when you have your backs against the wall like we have had, that's when it's your opportunities to show that your team can still play with some grit. Your team can have some resilience. And when we've been in those situations this year where we needed to, we haven't. I think we've done it a lot in the past, so we know how it looks and we know what it feels like. But the opportunities that we've had this year, we haven't got that done. And I just wanted to remind them that this year's not over, and today was an opportunity to show that, and that's not something you can do as an individual. We got gritty dudes, but as a team, that's collectively, and everyone's got to be kind of, say like psychology is contagious, and you try to think like one and play like one, and I felt that today from our team.
Last week, there's been some rumors over the webs that you could be traded to Chicago, and John called them comical. Do you have a word to describe those rumors?
I don't know why they come out, but it's, I don't want to be any place in the world more than here, and my family feels just as strong, if not a lot stronger. So, I hope you guys are gonna have to kick me out of here. So there's no way I'm making that decision.
Without McCaffrey, Bosa, and Trent, that's 3 captains. Do you see other leaders, kind of younger players emerging as somewhat as leaders?
Yeah, I think we've been needing that all year. When you want to be a leader, it starts with what you do on the field. It's got to be genuine. And when you have a certain way of playing on the field and you're out there and you do things, guys will start to look to those guys as leaders. And then it's kind of how you carry yourself and what you do in those moments. And I think we've had a lot of guys on this team going back to even week 1 till now that weren't, that didn't expect to get a lot of opportunities, maybe when we drafted them or back in training camp, and they've gotten opportunities fast. And that's, I think, one of the positives, that there's a lot of guys that we do believe in, that I do believe are getting better each week. And hopefully are going to be good Niners here for a long time.
How valuable is it to have a guy like Isaac with that kind of speed, but also enough size to run inside?
I don't get how you can do one without the other. So if you could just track guys to run the speed plays and big guys to run the other plays, then that would be easy. But you can get hit wherever you go. So you better be able to run outside, inside. You better be able to lower your pads and take hits. And the faster you are, the better, as long as you can do all that other stuff.
You run that screen pass to Kittle, the 33-yarder on the first drive before, and then just how well was he able to exploit the defense?
It was good. I mean, we caught him in a zone dog, which helps because they were matching all the guys down the field, so there's only kind of one guy looking at him. Got scarred a lot back in the day calling that because, especially people like KJ Wright, they would just sit and stare at Kittle every time he blocked. So as soon as he'd catch it, people would drill him. So sometimes it's hard to get screens to guys who are really good at it, but that was a good play to open it up. Got it versus the right look, and when you can get George the ball versus the right look, I think everyone sees how explosive he is, and we just give him some crap for getting tackled inside the 5 twice, but he was unbelievable today.
Brock had, had the bum shoulder against Seattle, then had to sit out, and it was in a snowstorm. I mean, it's kind of difficult for him during that 3-game losing streak. Did he stay kind of steady throughout? Did you sense any sort of frustration?
Yeah, I mean, normal frustration. I mean, we want to win, and Brock's as competitive as anyone I've been around. So, he was real disappointed about the Seattle game and how they got away from us at the end. And then for him to come in Monday and feel the way he did was kind of a shock to him and to all of us. And it didn't respond very well that week. And so he wasn't able to come back versus Green Bay and get that taste out of his mouth. And when he did versus versus Buffalo, that wasn't a very fun game for obvious reasons. So he's been battling. He's been awesome in practice. He's been great in the meetings. And I was real happy for him today because it seemed like he played his ass off and he was decisive in everything he did. And he's always a competitor.
On that second challenge, were they already in the replay review, or did you throw the flag to try to get them to do the replay? How did that all work?
Which one?
Threw the challenge flag on the second time.
The low catch or the fumble? The fumble? No, once they said it was an incompletion, then we saw on the scoreboard that he threw it backwards. So then I just threw it and said it was a fumble, and I think they overturned it anyways after I did that. So got my challenge back.
After a couple of cross-country road trips in inclement weather, how much did you feel the home field advantage today?
I mean, we always feel a home field advantage. It's so nice to not have to use a silent count and to be able to use our cadence and tee off on the ball and everything. We don't mind going on the road. We've been able to play in loud environments. We've been able to play in cold weather. Doesn't mean we prefer it, but we always love being at home and can't wait to be here in 4 days. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that does it for our head coach, Kyle Shanahan. He didn't say anything that was too surprising or overwhelming to me, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity to speak if anybody has any major takeaways.
Yeah, I barely hit it.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was talking to my guy over here.
If you guys have any major takeaways from Kyle's presser, please use this time now to share it here.
He did mention a sprained foot for Garindo, and then he said high ankle sprain. Was that in reference to Barch?
To Ben Barch, yeah.
Barch was the ankle sprain.
You know what, Mike, listening to that clip, is it just me? Because maybe it's like my Jersey bias or whatever, right? But didn't Shanahan kind of sound like Aaron Rodgers when he had that whole clip, I'm not going to leave here, you have to force me out of here? Kind of like that, really, I'm pissed off. I hate this question. Why the hell is this happening? How dare they even insult me by putting this out there? Kind of tone to his voice.
I got to go back and watch it because when he said that, I was trying to get a read on it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It was like there's nowhere else I'd rather be. My family feels the same way. You guys are gonna have to kick me out of here, type of thing, right? And you want to hear him say that, hey, we believe in you, so we want you to want to stay here. But it did feel weird to me just listening to it. So I don't know.
It wasn't just the words he said it. It was the way he said it and the way he's like, I'm captain here. Like, you're gonna have to force me out of here. Like, I'm not choosing to leave here ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to hear him echo that sentiment though. You want to hear him say, "I'm not ever leaving here. Like, y'all gonna have to make me do it." That means that I don't want to go anywhere else. So that was the right answer at face value. I just want, like I said, I want to go back and try to get a better read of it because, I don't think that Kyle wants to go. He gets a contract extension every 2.5 years, right? So I don't think he wants to go anywhere.
My second takeaway though was, do you think it's shame that the reason why the defense plays so different today? Like, you have Brock Purdy fighting through injuries, trying to come back. You got Drake Greenlaw trying to work out on the sidelines. You have Talanoa Hufanga keeps trying to come back off each of his injuries. You took Gross Matos is coming off all his injuries. Like, do you just think it's like shame that the way they're absolutely like embarrassed by how they've been playing lately? Like, they have to bring their A game because it felt like they weren't going to try to miss tackles the way that they've been doing.
Well, it was less about missed tackles and more about swarming today for me, right? Like, I feel like the first guy really brought him down, but the second guy was there so quickly that they could have shared the credit for the tackle. If that makes any sense.
No,
like,
it makes perfect sense, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't felt that for a while now.
Right. And
like,
so you got to think about the reasons for it, right? So all of a sudden, Hufunga's back with a club on his hand. Okay, I'm Jair Brown. Like, oh, shit, this guy can take my starting role, right? All of a sudden, you see Winters have the game of his life, in my opinion. I thought Winters went crazy today, right? But guess who's supposed to be coming back on Thursday? That's right, Dre Greenlaw. So now all of a sudden, it's like, now I'm playing for my snaps and my reputation, where before
and
it was
Anderson
just like, oh,
had the big fumble recovery. And Anderson had the big fumble recovery, which was huge.
It's more about desperation at this point. I really
Well,
do.
yeah,
I think it's more about desperation. This is a team that has a lot of veterans that haven't seen this kind of position since like what the earlier years when they first got around to 2020, where they weren't the favorites, and acknowledging the fact that we were favored going into this season in every game with the guys that we had. The Madden curse is real. If you don't believe it, you should believe it now because we have experienced it. We have seen it up front and personal. Christian McCaffrey on the cover of Madden didn't start the season, played 2 games out unless we made the playoffs, and I don't believe that he should even play if we do make the playoffs because he is not in football condition. The first real tackle he took, he went down and he's out for 6 weeks. Keep him off. That's just a loss in money, and that's just, you have to understand, because in a business you have to understand sometimes you pay a lot of money and you lose, and we lost. Secondly, these guys are the emphasis of the veterans that are on this team is now starting to ooze off to these younger guys. Because we have, Mike, everybody, we have a lot of young guys. We already said Kyle does not like to play rookies. We have a lot of rookies playing because of injury. And Kyle knows how to work with veterans. Now he's starting how to understand how to work with his rookies. Got a lot of rookies on offense, a lot of rookies on defense. And Kyle is now starting how to kind of turn his temperature towards his rookies because now he really has to rely on them. And we're starting to see that come together. This has been a season that has had all kind of unfortunate events for us. Because if we had had our staff, if we had had IU, if we had had Trent Williams, if we had had Nick Bosa, we're looking at a totally different team with all our stars. But we're not that team. And we have to understand that we're dealing with a different team. It's not the team that we're used to, and we expect them to be the team that we're used to, but it's not that team. It's not those players. We want them to be, but this is a developmental stage. We're lucky to be in the position we are in because at least we are competitive when we're not, and it's ugly when we're not. But the whole thing about this situation is very new and very unusual and very strange simply because we're missing the fact that we are dealing with a lot of rookies on offense and defense. And a lot of players that have not developed in the system that we are used to seeing.
That's the key part, though, because it's been mostly the vets that have been an issue this year, not the rookies.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Kyle and this team are just in an unusual position where they have to rely on the inexperienced players, right? Where you see guys like Sean McVay just working them in right away, straight out the gate, week one. Kyle kind of has to be forced to do that. So we're gonna see how things shape out. I feel like
I see the hats. I'm sorry,
I
I
think
was
it's a
getting
bit of,
distracted. I see the
too little,
hats.
too late.
I didn't notice them before, but I see the hats.
What I do like
They
is
make
the
me
fact that
happy.
Kyle. What I do like is the fact that in this game, what I did see from Kyle, what I did from Sorensen, what I did see from the leadership, and what I did see from our team, there was an adjustment. We have not been playing. We more migrated back towards the defense and the offensive scheme and tactics that we have used in the past, in the last year, in the year before. Now, we don't really talk enough about Brock Purdy's development. I've never really heard anybody talk about it. If we really evaluate how we've seen this team grow since Brock Purdy has come in the league. When Brock Purdy came in, he had to come in and he had to alter fly. And it was a lot of quick, short passes. Everybody was calling him dink and dunk, right? That was the mode of him. The quick, anticipatory, boom, 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 drop back. Have you noticed more? And everybody has already acknowledged it, but this year it's more drop back, hold the ball. It's more long to short. Brock Purdy was being developed with the short, short, short. Then they came long. Short, 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 long. Short, 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 short,
Yeah,
long.
but the difference is, in my opinion, the long to short is where he's fallen off, and that's why people are down on him this year. Personal opinion. I could be wrong, but the more they get away from what made people fall in love with Brock Purdy in the first place is the more that we say, I don't know if he's the guy. That's me personally. The more I say, I don't know if he's the guy, as they ask him to do more. And today I felt like we got back to the basics with Brock Purdy. In fact, the deep shots that he did throw in this game, we questioned, oh man, was that on Pearsall? Was that on Brock? So you can chalk it up to me. I won't dare try to speak for anybody else, but I think that Brock Purdy has a niche and a niche, I should say. Sorry, he's got a niche type of play that is designed for him, for better or worse. Doesn't mean that it can't be successful. Doesn't mean we can't win with it. But I don't think that he's that guy to throw him down there.
No, I think that's more Kyle. I think Kyle, because we understand Kyle is always playing chess versus checkers. This is what I did with him before. This is the things that I was doing before. Now, all of a sudden, our third year seeing Brock Purdy start, all of a sudden we're seeing him drop back, holding the ball longer, throwing the deep. Everything was deep, long developing plays this year versus what we saw before. What we saw before was Brock drop back, boom, 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 boom. And we talked about, well, is he only doing that because, yes, he was doing that because that was Kyle was showing him the system in layers. So once you start to learn the system layers, now I can drop back and I know this guy is going to be open here. When I'm deciding now to hold the ball longer for the longer developing routes that is built into this short, quick dump, boom, 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 these other routes are developed later. You obviously, I'm not going to be 20 yards deep on a three-step drop back. I gotta hold the ball 4 or 5 seconds, 2, 3, 4 seconds for a deep development, 20+ yard play. And we're doing that more than we're doing the just drop off, quick jump, 3-step drop back, and I think that's more the development of what Kyle is trying to do. I've heard people say he wanted to bring the offense that he had over in the Falcons here, which was a lot of drop back, hold the ball, deep passing. I'm a football fanatic. I'm a 49er fan probably longer than some of y'all have been alive. I was 9 years old. I'm 49 now, so I've been a 49er fan since I'm 40 years now.
Can I bring up a
Kyle sort of did that
point real
with.
quick? Sorry, go on, Dan.
Go ahead, Dan. Take yourself off mute, buddy. What'd you say?
Yeah, Dan.
I said Kyle kind of did that with Jimmy G. I think when we had him, like, because it was like every like third down, Jimmy G was dropping back instead of being in shotgun. Every like third down, it felt like, and he was like trying to throw deep every play. I don't think he's trying to do exactly that. I think he's just trying for medium game plays because that's what we're built on, right? Because teams are going to look at our film from the last 2 seasons and go, okay, what are they doing? They're dropping back. They're throwing like 5 yard. They're throwing like 5-6 yard plays, and then they're getting extra yards out of that. I think the problem is when they've covered up the catch and run aspect of it with the Niners, because remember that was a huge deal for people talking about the 49ers last year, was the yards after catch thing. I think when teams figured out if they cover up the run after the catch, that became a huge part of it, and I think Kyle's trying to figure out how to work around that. And I think he's tried to do that maybe a little too
much
early. And I mean by too early is that
How you just leave us on a cliffhanger? What I mean is that, and then you just put yourself on mute.
You can't hear you.
Dan. We can't hear you.
Daddy P just finished my sentence.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Daddy P
So
finished
he
my
was saying
sentence.
this is the development that he's doing.
Too
Kyle
much.
is
Well,
just doing it too
while
much.
we are on Dan, let's go ahead and get Dan's poem here, man. I've been saving the last little tiny bit of my drink so I could cheers to the poem, and then we're gonna go home after this because I've got some things to do.
All right, here we go, fellas. In the land of gold where the faithful cheer, the 49ers march, their victory clear. A clash with the Bears, a battle to win, where Purdy and crew would not let them in. Brock with his arm through sharp and true, 2 touchdowns bright, the skies they flew. Over 300 yards, a mighty feat, the Bears stood helpless, feeling defeat. The defense soared, a savage sight, Caleb Williams trapped in their might. 7 sacks rained down like the Thunder's call, he couldn't escape, not at all. From every angle, they came like fire, rushing, relentless, never to tire. A symphony of pressure, a storm in their wake. The Bears were broken, their spirit to break. 38-13, the score showed above. A victory claimed the 49ers had grown. With Purdy in defense, they showed their might. A dominant day, a team in flight.
Cheers.
I will drink to that.
That was the dopest one. That was the dopest one. That was good.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
That was dope. That was good.
We haven't been having the good ones for a while because we've been sucking. But
maybe that's
Yeah.
it. Like Eddie Murphy said, ooh, that was a Ritz. That was a good cracker.
Oh Lord. Oh, he did not.
Because you ain't had something so long.
Yeah.
That sounded real good. Though,
Yeah,
man.
Mike, can you stay like for like a minute right after the show? Because I want to run something by you real quick. Because if I bring it up live, it's gonna take off and it won't shut up. So I don't want to keep you, but I just have to run one thing real quick by you.
No, not a problem at all. I got you. But listen, guys, I want to thank everybody who took their time out to join us on this Overreaction show, man. I want to give a round of applause to everybody who watched and viewed, to the participants, and more importantly, to the San Francisco 49ers going out there and getting their 6th win of the season.
And Terry Dome sharing this on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting it up on Twitter. Who want to take a shot?
I want to take a shot. I didn't get to take no shot.
I'll take
Come
another
on, baby.
shot.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Pour it up,
Go.
baby. Pour it up. I got you. Where it at? Everybody nice and live. Mike, you got one over there for us?
I'm finna get mine pulled up right now.
Mike,
I got
it's bad luck. We can't have you on camera if you don't have one, man.
I have to go get one.
All right.
Here, Mike, I got you covered. I got 2 bottles right here.
Oh, look
Coffee
at
and
Melissa.
tea.
She going. I can't say what I was going to say, but we'll.
I'm on the shot. I'm gonna take a 3-shotter for you.
Come on, here we go.
Hold
Get him up. Get him up.
Mike,
let's go. Yeah. Oh, he said, wait.
Cup in my hand right now.
How you gonna ask for the shit and then you ain't even got it ready? What is happening here? What in the world is going on here?
Just give it to me in my hand.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Let's go. No, Mike, we gotta drop Mike off for bad luck. I don't want the bad luck here. All right, here we go, y'all. Come on, hold him up. Here we go. Through the lips and past the gums. Watch out, tummy. Here it comes. Throw him back, y'all. And I saw that newcomer in the chat earlier in the show. He tried to say something funny. He said, "Geez, taking a shot for beating the Bears. Win Thursday, then take a shot." Wrong, sir. We take shots after every win here. We don't care if we won in 15. We taking that shot after the win, baby. That's how we get down over here. All right, on nothing but Niners. Fuck all that.
Terrell Owens, T.O. name on there.
Yeah.
Like you real Niner fan.
Hey, Terry,
You know how much
do you think
alcohol
he
I went
plays
through?
on Thursday?
Who is that?
Even first snap? 57. 57.
We gotta see.
I have my fingers crossed.
We gotta see.
We are winning Thursday night.
Terry,
We're Thursday night
need
because
it
we're gonna
too.
play the way we play tonight.
That would throw fear into him. I know that. That would infuse my defense. It was good seeing Huff back too. Good seeing Talanoa Hufanga back.
Yeah, no, he definitely had a good game. That was good for him.
We'll talk about Jair Brown at another time.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that. I mean, my mea culpa on Twitter. That's it. I'm not getting into that fight.
I have more faith in this defensive line right now, and that's what I needed to see going forward. Because if our defensive line can continue to play the way they played tonight and get pressure, I think that loss to the Buffalo Bills in that snow really. I mean, they was laying on the ground, and I think they had the mentality we are going forward, and I think that's where when we win in the trenches. This is how we kick ass, and we kick ass. And the Bears have a great defense. They are number 1 in the red zone. They are a top 10 defense in all aspects of
number
defense.
1 tonight.
And we told them folks up.
There's a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Got some ballers.
JJ. Just shout out to Jawan Jennings. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan, because I think he came up with he went back to the basics, but he also wanted to go deep in his bag, and it was beautiful. Stop running Debo. I don't like that. That crap is ugly. It's ineffective. He don't get yards, and it's stupid. But I know it's part of his whole chest thing, but stop it, because we're going to need Debo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to need Kittle.
More than Debo, they have to stop throwing it to Saubert. Because that shit is getting old.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Mike, question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Kyle is misusing Deebo Samuel?
Yes.
No, I do not.
I do.
May I ask why?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I get it, right? People are going to look at Deebo's production and say, oh, like this isn't it, and it's predictable and all that stuff, right? You guys got to remember what makes Kyle and why he is the offensive coordinator that he's revered as, right? Kyle's offense is based off of manipulating the defense, right?
Yeah.
The defensive coordinators that do well against Kyle Shanahan or the unorthodox defensive coordinators. Those are the guys that say, hey, those are the rules, fuck the rules. We got to stop Kyle, right? There's only a handful of defensive coordinators willing to put their nuts on the table and even attempt to do something like that. The rest of them are saying, hey, I'm coaching for my job, game in and game out. These are the rules of football. If a running back goes this way, I got to send the linebacker that way to cover that running back, right? Kyle thrives on that mindset. That's what Kyle thrives on, right? So in the game where you got George Kittle going crazy across the middle, all of a sudden, now they got to put a safety and a linebacker on him, and then you send Debo in motion. Now the other linebacker is occupied. That opened things up for guys like Garindo. That opened things up for other players like Jawan Jennings and things. So Kyle got back in his essence tonight where he could fully manipulate a guy who is an interim coach. Because now he's saying, hey, I can't mess this up because I'm coaching for a potential position next year. So I got to show that I can at least do the basics. I was just going up against Kyle Shanahan. That young man is not going to look any worse losing to Kyle Shanahan tonight than he did. Because it's Kyle Shanahan. He's supposed to manipulate and make you dance out there on that defensive line, on the secondary.
You're crackling and
with your
listening
linebackers.
You got the crackle going again.
Unbelievable. How about now?
Oh, no.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. But my point is that this interim head coach is not going to look like he was in over his head. This is what Kyle Shanahan does to 80% of the defensive coordinators in the NFL. What he needed to show was that my guys can be assignment tight. They can go out there and run the scheme that we're running. The thing is, Kyle Shanahan is known for manipulating defensive schemes, known for manipulating defenses' reactions to what he's doing with his personnel. You run out there with 3 wide receivers, you got to bring an extra DB out there, or you have to have an extra safety out there, and then Kyle puts those guys in binding positions. That's what he did all game long, so it allowed him to get back to his essence. That includes running Debo behind the line of scrimmage. While those plays weren't successful, it still put those other guys in the bind. And Kyle took advantage of that in other areas of the field.
Yeah, yes, I understand what you're saying.
Do you think do you think that this guy that became the interim coach changed anything about their defensive scheme? Because he's not a head coach. He's not the defensive coordinator. Now you gotta remember they still had a same defensive coordinator. They still had their defensive aspect of the team and the defense they're gonna run. The offensive coach doesn't really dictate what kind of defense we're going to go up against. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Do you
but
agree
he also
with
has I do, but he also has the ability to say, hey, let's not see any of that exotic stuff. Let's get back to the basics. Let's go out there and be sound in what we're doing. And then part of being sound is knowing your response.
Why would the defensive coordinator change his defensive tactics
I'm telling you.
Offensive coach?
It's not about the offensive coach. It's about the guy that is the head coach at the moment. He is telling you we are not going to go out there and be overly aggressive against Kyle Shanahan. We are not going to go out there.
What you just said with the offensive coach is the issue in dictating to the defensive coordinator who has been running a top 10 defense to tell him what we're going to do.
Listen.
Right?
Hear me out.
That's what you're saying, right? You said the offensive coordinator came in. He's an interim.
Listen to me. For the last 4 hear me out. Hold on, Daddy. Listen. You got to hear what I'm saying, bro. For the last 4 weeks, I've been yelling at my TV. I've been yelling on the overreaction shows. I am tired of Kyle letting defenses dictate what plays we're going to run. I felt like Kyle was going out there looking at the defensive formations. Right. No, I know. So listen to me, right? What I've been saying is I feel like Kyle's been going out there, seeing what formations and personnel the defense is running out and saying, all right, let's try to do this. This week was the exact opposite. Kyle got back to look at my offense, and now your defense has to do this. That's how it works in the NFL on a normal basis. The offense comes out in 12 personnel, they run a certain defensive package out there. They come out in 11 personnel, the defense comes out in a certain package, right? The games that we got embarrassed in or when those coaches said, I don't care what personnel you're coming out in, I'm going to put these guys on the field, and this is the defense I'm going to run. Right? Tonight, they got back to basics because the interim head coach said, hey, I can't afford to be exploited by Kyle Shanahan. Hey, if he beats me, he beats me. We're not expected to win. We got a rookie quarterback. We're not expected to win. Our top wide receiver is a rookie. We're not expected to win because of these new faces on defense, and we lost this guy and that guy, right? So he wasn't expected to win. Let's not go out there and just look like a liability on the field. That's what he was going out there with his bread and butter in, and Kyle took advantage of that.
Can I bring up a different point of view real quick?
Wait. Hold on, Melissa. Go ahead, Dan.
I promise you.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, Danny. No, I want to hear what Dan's got to say. Go ahead.
What about those situations though, where we're gonna go ahead and play a head coach for 4 weeks straight that have had their jobs? So like Sean McVay or Dan Campbell I can't remember the Dolphins head coach at the top of my head.
Go
But
ahead.
Mike McDaniel.
What do we do? Mike McDaniels. What do we do in those situations? Because like when they see those schemes come out with Deebo Samuel sitting at running back, sitting at the top of the screen, they know they're gonna be screens and runs up the middle. When Kyle Shanahan came in that third year and such, he was using Deebo Samuel, he was using George Kittle to sit in the backfield. Then they would go off for passes. We don't do that anymore. There's no mix and match with it anymore, and that's where I think we're misusing Deebo Samuel. We have the ability to create plays like that, like we used to, like 3 years ago. It's like we've completely discarded.
So if you want
I'm going to piggyback on what he just said, because he's basically explaining the fact that what we're not really paying much attention to is the dynamic of Kyle Shanahan's mythology of the game. We're not really putting it together. The development of his offense, the development of his defense. It's not going to be the same year to year, but we're expecting it to be what we see and not what it's growing to be. It grows. It goes up and down. Think about it as a harvest. Sometimes you're going to have a really good harvest off a really good product for a certain amount of time, and then that product fades off. So now you have to harvest it to a different thing that is now, but it's the same aspect. So let's say sweet potatoes to potatoes, right? You had the sweet potatoes going. Oh, that beautiful. That offense was, but the development between going through that and going to potatoes, just natural potatoes, is going to take a development period. Right?
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Can I just real quick chime in real quick about something?
Just rooting against these schemes.
I'm asking you really nicely. Can I just drop a little something quick?
Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay, so y'all know my brother is a disgusting, pathetic, obnoxious Packer fan.
Yeah.
So I absolutely have to pay attention to NFC North. So here's the thing, though. Every game this year where the Bears like had a really bad letdown, just break your back, like broken, right? They overcorrected the very next week. It happened when they faced the Commanders and they lost the Hail Mary game when what's his face was like jeering the crowd and missed his assignment.
Yeah.
And then it happened last week on Thanksgiving where the Bears had the Lions on Thanksgiving, and then that final drive happened, and then it was just like went right off the rails, and it was like another backbreaker where the Bears were this close, and then it just didn't go right. They had the same thing against the Packers like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like this is what the Bears do when shit goes haywire, and they're that close. They like try to like overcorrect it almost, where they're like not aggressive, but they're just aggressive enough where they get stupid roughing calls, and they're trying not to blow the game, and they play way too safe, and they don't try to take any punches, and they always overcorrect the next week. So they lost on Thanksgiving, and I think that was more what this game was about with the Bears. Like they overcorrected again.
And that's possible, right? Because you like I said, you have to stay assignment tight. And to Dan's point, it's like, Mike, that worked tonight, but how is that going to work against teams that revert back to, hey, Kyle, we don't care what personnel you're running. We know what this play is going to be because Debo's in the backfield, right? I think that's what Dan's point was to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan.
It's that's exactly what my point was.
What I'm here to tell you is there has been no adaptation to Kyle's offense. I'm telling you that this plan won't work against a Vikings and Brian Flores. This plan won't
Yes,
work.
it will.
No, it won't. We've seen it.
Yes,
No, it won't. This plan
will.
won't work against a Jim Schwartz. This plan won't work against a Steve Spagnuolo. It will not work because those are the types of coordinators that say, hey, Kyle, I don't give a damn about the personnel you're running out there. We see Debo in the backfield. We know he's not running a route. We see this guy back there. We know you're not going to do this because Kyle hasn't showed the propensity to be able to make those kind of adjustments and use that as an okie doke. Kyle doesn't do that. So what I'm telling you is that, what I'm telling you, Dan, is that it worked tonight because there was an interim head coach out there. It's not going to work later on against those guys that are ready and wired to go against Kyle Shanahan.
That's what I think.
I agree with you in that
Kyle has
aspect.
learned.
I just have
Kyle
one more
hasn't
thing,
learned
and I
shit.
promise I'll go on mute.
Yes, he has, Mike.
Kyle hasn't learned shit. Stop it.
We hired Kyle Shanahan
Can I just
because
have one more
he
thing
had
to Dan's point, and then I'll go on mute?
No, you go ahead, Melissa. Take the floor.
The only thing that irritates me with the way you phrase your question is, why is it not okay for Debo to be the fake out guy? Like, why is it wrong that Debo's getting these like little tiny setup plays? Like everybody else on this offense has done that in the past.
That wasn't my point. That wasn't my point.
No, I
My
know that's not your
was-
point. It's
my
just
point-
that's the way it sounded to me.
He is. I don't like it either. I don't
George
like
has
it
done
either.
it. Juwan's done it. Everyone else has done those little fucked up, like weird little throws 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage to set up like the next few plays.
Not to the extent of Debo Samuel. Not to the extent of Debo Samuel.
But that's my point. Like, why can't it be Debo for once? Like, why does it got to be everybody else doing the dirty work?
But that's Kyle. Kyle uses Debo for that distraction and that manipulation. All of us agree. We don't like seeing him do that. We don't like seeing Debo used in these Debo and I mean, how many times did we see that tonight?
Y'all are missing Dan's point. Y'all are missing Dan's point. Listen. Y'all are missing Dan's point. Order in the court. What Dan is saying is when Debo is the distraction, it's not a distraction. It's going to Debo when you know exactly what the play is going to be. It's everything except the distraction. It's not a fucking distraction if we know Debo's getting the ball. It's not a distraction. That's the fucking play.
What happened after that happened?
Go ahead, Dan.
You're still talking about chess.
No. Wait. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, that's my point though, because when I point back to like years like in 2019 when we first got Debo and we were running him in the backfield, we had George Kittle and Juszczyk back there. We have all three of them back there that we'd run a pass play. Teams could never see that coming. Right now, it's like Debo's in the backfield. They know exactly what it is. Why don't we do that more with Debo? Run, make him run a route, and then maybe throw it down to him. And if we're gonna run a screen with him, run a screen correctly instead of having him come inside to catch the ball and everything, because teams already know that. We need to mix and match with Debo Samuel because Debo Samuel is so much more than that. He can be. We've seen it. We saw him kind of do it last year in the second half of the year, and then this year it just seems like he's fallen off.
And to me, that's Dan's point. Go ahead, Terry.
When it comes to Kyle's play calling, it affects them because for the first half of the season, it's been the same thing with Debo Samuel. If he goes up top, he's catching a screen. If he goes to the backfield, he runs the ball. There is no distraction with him because they already know where.
Right, and that's what Dan's point is. It's extremely predictable based off of just Debo Samuel's motions and positioning on the field pre-snap. That's what Dan's entire point is, and that's why I said it won't work against certain defensive coordinators that don't give a damn about what Kyle's running out there. We know you, and we dare you to beat you another way. That's what my point was. Terry, don't please.
Unless he's setting them up big time for the big payback, and he's going to utilize him later on as just that decoy. I say utilize him like you would use CMC, because Debo was CMC before CMC got here.
Yeah.
Utilize him and sprint him out. He's a receiver too. Make them cover this wide back wide. Put him on a linebacker. That has got to be a mismatch. In every principle of offense, you need a mismatch, an opening, and an angle. Utilize it however and wherever you could. I agree too. It's getting it's like telegraph. Oh, Debo in the backfield, y'all. It's
Yeah.
like, when
Yeah.
the kid that can't hit is coming up the bat. Y'all move it on in.
Yep. Here we go. Bring it in. Come on.
Here we
Come
go.
on. Come on. Bring it in. Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
Oh, Ernie's at bat. We know he can't do nothing but bunt. And we got to get away from that, which I think supports Dan the Man as well as Melissa and Daddy P. You got to use them more. You got to get more fluid with them and run some traps and some counters and some
Pterodon.
shovels. That's what I
Pterodon,
say.
real quick. Do you think it has a lot to do with the health of the offensive weapons this year?
Yes.
Because Brandon Ayuk hasn't been healthy. Christian hasn't been
Yes.
healthy. Jawan's had a lot
Yes.
of injuries. He's even now playing with a bunch of injuries. Kittle's
Yes.
been hurt. Like, I really think a lot of it is either Debo's maybe not in shape enough to run all the routes and to be that deep threat, or it's that they really want to handicap him so that way at least he's healthy enough to finish the year, because they don't know. Like, even today, Garando got hurt. Mason's had stuff. Like, there's nobody that's
Well, I
been
think it's
healthy.
been a situation.
Undoubtedly, since February
Yes.
10th, my birthday, when we had everybody healthy the night before the Super Bowl, and we were on 24 hours. We haven't had the same collection of San Francisco 49ers hit the field since after Super Bowl night. CMC's been
Yep.
out. Then BA
Yep.
went out. Then this
Yep.
one, we'll get a
Yep.
Modge Podge and a mix and match.
Yeah.
We haven't had it. So injuries have definitely played into everything this year. They're saying, well, Brock, he need all of his Avengers. Who don't need all the Avengers? Yeah,
Exactly. Preach.
but it all plays into it. But it's not the only and primary and reason at all, because we've had a Juwan Jennings step in and take up a whole bunch
Yes.
of third and
Yes.
Juwan. We
Yes.
had George Kittle
Yes.
get off sometimes and maybe not use it. We've had at the beginning of the year, that first game, my man was getting ball to Jordan Mason, but Jordan ain't here right now. So we can't get it all. We like ham, no burger, Kool-Aid, no sugar. We
Yes.
can't put it all together at once. But what you got to play with what you got. And I think Kyle did not go back and think and just pull that game plan. I keep a whole bunch of notes, old notebooks over to the side of my desk right here. And sometimes I go back 2 years and pull out a good sermon or something. I'll say, oh, yeah, I'll get a piece from that.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
old film with Debo Samuel in 2019.
Yeah.
Go back and look at that and say, hey,
Yeah.
guys, y'all remember this one? This is an oldie but a goodie. Let's play Last Night. A DJ played my Saved
Come
My
on.
Life on the phone. let's play some of that old stuff.
I just want to piggyback on that, and I'm be as brief as I could possibly be. But the thing, what he's saying, just to simplify and break it down, we used to what we used to. We had these phenomenal players. We had these Debo Samuels. We had these George Kittles in their prime, and they were so dynamic and so beautiful. And now they've aged, and now we got this new amazing quarterback named David that we've been calling him David since the beginning of his career. He was David, the one that everybody said, "No, he's not that good. He's not the guy. That's not the one I'm looking for." And he done came up and became the man on this team. And what we're dealing with was everything that came before him. Well, they're still great and they're still amazing, but they're not in their prime. And he's in his prime. And now we're dealing with a defense that was in their prime and an offense that was in their prime. And they're amazing. And they can still do it. We saw him go to the Super Bowl last year. We saw him take a team. Let us not forget that he was the last pick in the draft. He came in, was never a. Which one of y'all ever thought he was going to play when he came in? Not one. Not
We
one.
know all this
Okay.
part, but what
I
does that
want
have
him
to
to
do with
come in
Dan's
Let's
question?
week
bounce forward.
3. Be
Let's
honest.
just bounce forward to the fact that he superseded all our expectations with the team that we had expectations for. We just needed a quarterback that could do it. And we got a quarterback that could do it, and we degrade him because why? He is David. And we Terradome, you spoke it. He was the child over there yeah, but he became King David. We got the real king. You got to go in basketball to call himself David. No, we have the real King David. He can elevate this team. He got soldiers that are older than him, that have been there, that have established what this dynasty is, and now he's going to build from it. And we're going to go for it. I still have belief that despite our circumstances right now, we will win the Super Bowl. And I'm saying it right
Oh
now.
shit.
We will win the Super Bowl.
Daddy P.
Don't
I have a question. Have you been hanging around Cowboys fans? Because I feel
no,
like
I
that's
don't
been
hang around Cowboys
like
fans. What I do because then and no disrespect to anybody. The only person that has been a fan of the 49ers longer than me or as long as me is Terradome. I am 40 years into this. I believe in my team. And when I see with this is the disaster from the amazing story. Terradome would tell you that there was a guy in the Bible, his name was Abraham. And Abraham was the least expected of anybody in the Bible if you research your Bible. He was the least expected to end up in the position that he was in. And when he ended up being the father of all nations, that's everybody on this call right now, he is the father of all of us. And all of us that are believers in Jesus Christ, and all of us that are believers in the mythology of what we believe and how we stand for, we understand that the underdog becomes what is it, Terradome?
The
To the
first shall be
right
last, and
hand.
the last shall be first.
Come on now. We sit
Make
on the
make
throne
it happen.
of the Most High. We don't
It
sit
may
on the
be
throne of
it
any
may be in
man. We don't
26, but we got what we need.
We don't do what we gonna do, and we gonna be what we gonna be. Best
We got a
believe
new season
Trump is in office.
It can
All
happen.
right, man.
It
Listen,
can.
we're not going to no damn playoffs this year. Y'all keep talking all y'all want. Listen, I love y'all, man. This has been a
Right.
very, very fun show. I
You
appreciate
get what
every
you
single
believe, and you
person.
speak what you say.
Hey, listen, I thought last year was our year. I believed it. I bet the house on it, and I
Okay,
lost
I
that
Don't
did
never
bet.
give
too.
up
Okay,
hope.
I
all
did
I'm
too.
saying is this: the Niners not only need to go out there and win out, we need some help as
We gonna
well.
win
And
out. We
when
gonna
we
win
don't
out.
control our own destiny, I don't have faith in man
We
outside of
go
us
win
to help
out.
us out. So
We can win out.
the Niners are a team
Yeah.
that went out there and we won tonight. And kudos to the 49ers. I want to give them another round of applause. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the players that finally got an opportunity to step up. I'm happy for all of those guys. You know, and shout out to my panel. You guys were phenomenal tonight. Mike, Tony, Terradome, Daddy P, Melissa, Dan, Ben, who jumped in here earlier, as well as my man Darren. All of you guys were phenomenal. We are going to get up out of here. I will see you guys very soon this week.
Justin Herbert.
Right.
Justin
I
Herbert
want to
just got
shout
hit.
out though. I'm gonna start my channel.
Justin Herbert did what?
He just got
Taylor
hit.
Heineke is warming
A
up on the
mean shot.
sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, they just munched him. Oh yeah.
I hope he's okay. I tell you what, when they folded Brock Purdy up tonight, I didn't know what to think. I was so mad that I wasn't going to get to evaluate him the rest of the game.
Mike, is it just our jersey cynicism? But I really thought they were going to throw the flag for that.
For real, they folded the shit out of Brock Purdy.
I literally sat there for like 15 seconds and like, they're not going to
But I
call that
like
shit, are
when I
they?
saw Kyle Shanahan go for it on fourth down late in the game to go ahead and put up another 7 points. I love that. He needs to stay in that mindset.
I like that level of aggression. It was good. It was good to see, man. It was
Kyle
good to
does,
see.
yeah, dude.
Brandon Allen has to go away because I don't
does
care
that-
what
he only does
anything
that
else
against
happens. When you put in Brandon Allen, the aggression goes away from me.
Well, I mean, that was game. It was over. There was no coming back from that. So that's why he was out there. But I like seeing Kyle go for it on fourth down, being up big scores, and we just control the clock for another minute and 25 seconds. We got this game. So that was a beautiful thing to see, man. I was happy.
Herbert's
for Kyle
walking off. He's not being assisted or helped in any way.
We are getting up out of here,
got a
man.
touchdown instead of 3 points.
Y'all have a fantastic, fantabulous night. Go out there, love your loved ones, and be true to yourselves. We are out of here. Again, thank you to the panel. Prepare for glory. Anticipate pain. But always
remain
faithful.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners.